My name is Catherine Hazel, and I'll be taking you for the maritime segment of your course. I'm sure you've already completed some modules already, or is this your first one? So we're going to continue from here. How many modules have you done? 7. So is this the last one?
No. 7 more.
7 more. I see. Anyway, so we'll be looking at maritime transport, and the maritime transport is in 7 main sections. We'll be looking at introduction to maritime transport, and then seaports, shipping services, and others. And it's a bit intensive, and I'm sure a lot of you might not be very familiar with ships. So I'll try and slow down a bit, and if you don't understand anything, you ask. Don't wait for me to finish and then you say, what don't you understand? You say everything. I wouldn't go back to the beginning. So when you don't understand something. But I have all the presentations on the computer. It's there, so if you ask the office, they'll give it to you. And please try and read up. As I said, it's quite intensive and it covers a lot. And because you are not on familiar terrain also, it's going to be a bit difficult for you. So if you don't try to read up, then you find it very difficult to understand some areas. So I would appreciate it very much if you would try and read up ahead, because I've given you the notes. So if you read up ahead and also research, you don't take everything I say hook, line and sinker, but you also have to do your own research to find out whether what I'm saying is true or not. Because maybe I might just be making up stories, but I'm not, honestly. So maritime transport, and we're going to look at ships. So we say, please, the rule is, apart from the lecturer, everybody switches off his phone or puts it on vibration, because it shouldn't ring whilst the lectures are going on, disturbing the class. So if you have, I'm sure all of you have the latest, 3G, 4G, and so on. So you can put it on vibrate. Don't leave it to ring, disturbing the class. Now, what is a ship? What is a ship or a vessel? Often you hear the word a ship or a vessel. Usually it's the same thing they are talking about. Some prefer to call it vessels, some prefer to call it ships. Well, what is a ship? Anybody has any idea what a ship is? How many of you have seen ships or gone on ships before? Anybody here? You've seen the ships. At least you've seen it. So what is it? If you see a bird flying, they say, what is it? You say it's a bird and it flies, it flaps the wings and so on. So what is a ship?
I'll say it's transport using the ocean.
Yeah, and that is all a ship is. It's a means of transport that is designed to move on water. I mean, and when we say ship, we can have big ships which will move in the deep oceans, and we have the smaller ones that hug the coastline. They are always around the coastline and so on. But it's basically a vehicle designed for movement of goods on the oceans or on the water. Okay. So, and what is a boat then? If we know a ship is designed for transportation on water, what is a boat? In the earlier days, when they said a boat, in fact, a lot of people would say, my boat, I'm going to the boat, I'm going to the boat. And they meant the same thing, a ship. But boats tended to be smaller. So these days, when we say a boat, most of the time we are looking at the small ships that do not carry much, if there's any carriage at all. you find things like lifeboats. A lifeboat can carry, most of the time, most lifeboats are designed to carry about up to 75 persons and that is what it has been reduced to. But initially, when ships were moving about on the oceans, they used to call them boats. Okay. For example, they didn't call sailing boats sailing vessels. They usually refer to them as sailing boats. And those ships that use sails as a means of propulsion. On a ship, the ship, as we said, is designed for carriage of goods on the water. And the water can be the open sea or around the coastline. Okay. Now, when the ships are moving, they have to have what we call propulsion, a means of propulsion. I'm going ahead a bit to explain that, but we'll come to propulsion. The means of propulsion is the means by which it moves through the water. It has to be able to move itself through the water. So what makes it move through the water is the propulsion. In earlier ships, they used to have sails, and sails are some huge canvases that they will rig. And when they are going, if it catches the wind, then they will move in the direction of the wind. But you could also, arrange it in such a way that it will not always move you in the direction of the wind. Otherwise, you'll never get to your destination. But you could also arrange the sails to move you where you want to go. Well, there will be a lot of crabbing that you'll be doing. Do you know what crabbing is? You see a crab, okay? When a crab is moving, it doesn't move straight, it moves sideways. A crab does not move in a straight line. If it wants to go this way, then it should start from somewhere and then move this way. So the ship would crab through the water when it is under sails. So here I've shown you the picture of a ship, which is the big one, okay, the larger one, and then you have, please let's go into the worry you. I'm going to the slide mode.